Hi, my name is Fernando, and I will present our project of the course Technical English 2, that consists in making an application of our career. We are studying system engineering, so we decided to make a funny game in the computer that will help the people to learn. This game consists in connect points of the same color. You only can connect points in a horizontal way or in a vertical way. You cannot connect points in a diagonal way. For example, you make a square with the points, all the points with the same color will disappear. For each point that is disappearing, you will have 1 point more. You can play this game while the time is running. So for example, this time is for 30 seconds, so when the chronometer will go to the 30 seconds, the game will stop. This game is helping to the people to improve the logical system and the spatial thinking. What does this mean? For example, I am thinking that when I make a ball disappear, the ball up will go down. So I have to think how will be the logical way that the process of the game will run. When the game ends, you can save your name and you can see your score. After that, you can choose another option. For example, you can see the best score, the worst score, all the scores from the worst to the worst score, from the worst and to the best score, and you can get back to the menu, to the principal screen. There are another way to play. The first way was with time. This second is with movements. So you only have like a specific number of movements that you can do. For example, I am doing like right now 1 movement, so I only have 29 movements. For in the language that we make this game was Java NetBeans. Java NetBeans is a programming-oriented object language where all the processes are doing like in the same time. It's best than C++ because in C++ you use the structural programming. In the structural programming, you only can't make like process when another process will end. You cannot make like 2 processes in the same time. That is what we are doing here. As you can see after, be a system engineer can help the people. Maybe not in like an important way, but you will make the people learn, and in a funny way that is not like so boring. When you are programming Java, you will have like a father class, that is the project 1. This class will call another class. For example, this class are calling the class menu principal. In this class, I am calling the 2 classes botón juego movimiento y juego tiempo. The juego movimiento is the game when you have a specific number of moments, and the juego tiempo and the class juego tiempo is the class where you are playing while the time is running. So our game consists, for example, when you choose one option of the menu principal, in this class will call for example the juego movimientos. Here is the logical of the game. So this game is very easy. Any person can play it. You only need to have Java in your computer. So for that we decided to make this and to make a game, because a game will help the people to learn. So thanks for watching and goodbye.
The Java programming language was evolved from another program called Oak. Oak was first known to program things about video games and entertainment for the people. The language was too famous that then they started to create and developing another areas like the internet, like servers, etc. The language has many advantages than the other programs. Like for example, it is an object oriented, it have a platform independence, it has many libraries, and the most important is that it has a similar syntax with the C++. Among the history, Java has developed 4 platforms that are the Java card, that is from the smart cards, the micro edition that has limited resources, the standard edition that is the workstation of most people, is the most common one, and the enterprise edition that is oriented to the large enterprises or the internet environments. All these platforms have many versions. There are 8 in total, and these are the GDK1, the GTK 1.1, the G2SE 1.2, the G2SE 1.3, the G2SE 1.4, the G2SE 5.0, the Java SE6, the Java SE7, and the Java SE8. Among all that I'm saying, there are 5 principles that must be followed when you program. These are: first, it must be object-oriented and familiar with the person that will use the program. 2. It must be secure. 3. It must be portable. 4. It must have a high performance. And 5. It must be dynamic.
Object-Oriented Programming, in its acronym OOP, is a programming paradigm based on the concept of objects rather than actions, which are data structures that contains data, often known as attributes. The first step in OOP is to identify all the objects the programmer wants to manipulate and how they relate to each other, an exercise often known as data modeling. Once an object has been identified, it is generalized as a class of objects which define the kind of data. It contains any logic sequences that can manipulate it. Each distinct logic sequences is known as a method. Objects communicate with well-defined interface called message. For programming with OOP, it is necessary to learn a few basic concepts before writing any code. The first is object. It's a software bundle of related states and behavior. Class is a blueprint or from which objects are created. Inheritance provides a powerful and natural mechanism for organizing and structuring the software. Interface is a contract between a class and the outside world. Package is an namespacing for organizing classes and interference in a logical manner. The concept and rules used in an object-oriented programming provide some important benefits. The concept of a data class makes it possible to define subclasses of data objects that share some or all of the main class's characteristics. Called inheritance, this property of OOP forces a more thorough data analysis, reduces development time, and ensures more accurate coding. The first object-oriented programming language was Simula. Now, Java are one of the most popular OOP languages today. The Java programming language was designed especially for use in a distributed application on corporate networks and the internet.
Hello, my name is Juan Robles and I'm going to talk about programming paradigm. Well, for first, a paradigm is usually used to describe an example, but in programming is not the case. In programming, the word paradigm, we use it to talk about a fundamental style of computer programming that we use to build the structure and elements of the computer programs. Well, first we're going to talk about computer programming to introduce about the topic. Well, computer programming is a process that leads from the original formulation of computers problems to execute computer programs. Well, basically the computer programming we use to resolve some, how to explain, to resolve some problems of the people, or maybe to satisfy some needs that we have in the technology way. Well, the programming paradigm has different type of paradigm, that is the style of the computer programming that we use in a different language of this well, the maybe that's not the most important, but it's the ones that we use in our project is the programming paradigm with object oriented. Well, it's not my homework to talk about object oriented, but I can talk about some little example of language that we have in this type. Well, some language that we have in object oriented is C#, Smalltalk, Eiffel, and Java. In this case, we use Java to our project. Well, I want to show you a little program. That's not the project, but this can give you an idea that what is object oriented. Let me show you.